Hello, everyone. Welcome to Practical Balance. We are so happy to be here with you today. We hope that you're doing well. My name is Jen Westlake from Soululaire, and my co-host is Janice Whiting of Lifted Spirits. Hey, Janice, how are you?
Great, fabulous. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Life keeps lifing, as I like to say, and here we are meeting again, hoping to be able to give some assistance to our friends here and just hopefully can assist in navigating these crazy times that we're living in.
I love it.
So, me too, me too. So, um, I don't really have a topic that I wanted to start with today because I'm really mostly interested in is Spirit's guidance. And I'm wondering, has Spirit said anything to you today about what they would like to talk to us about?
Well, two topics there that they think humans maybe could understand better. One of them is divorce, and the other one is lying. So I'll let you pick, and I'll let you start, and we can go with those if that interests
Okay,
you.
well, let's start with divorce because I think that there will be a lot more to say about lying. So I'd like to make sure we get both topics in our show today. So let's start with divorce.
Okay.
And what do they want us to know about divorce?
Well, they think humans tend to, as a rule, think divorce is not supported by spirit and the universe, that whether it be because of a philosophy, some philosophies are when you marry for life. Um, and a few lucky people on earth that happens to. But for most humans, spirit, here's what they think, that a human has different cycles in life. And so, and some people in those cycles, they don't get married at all. And they will say, well, that's probably priests and a few other groups. And then there are the lucky few, I guess they feel lucky that they're married. They meet and marry one partner and think they'll ride through life with that person through all the different chapters of their life.
Mm-hmm,
And then there are those who have different partners in different chapters of their life.
mm-hmm.
Many of them, as I heard Elizabeth Taylor had 7, and I've chatted with Spirit about that, and they say they don't care. So here's what they think. Um, that no one came to earth with the same plan. And
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying, some humans don't even get married in life, and spirit supports that too.
Mm-hmm.
They say there isn't a right or wrong of being married or not being married, or being married once or being married 7 times. Their perspective is, it's not what you do, it's why you do it. Meaning, you go into a marriage authentically. They desire people that they love them and hopefully do want to live a fabulous, authentic lifetime with them.
Mm-hmm.
So but the other side, humans will come to me for a session and they will be crying and they say, should I divorce this person? And there are times I have heard spirits say, no, that is the right person for you. And humans are lazy. And then there's other times I've heard spirits say, absolutely, you'll never be happy with that person. You'll never
Mm-hmm.
turn it into a fabulous, authentic relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
bless and release it, and then move on, whether you find another partner or not. So again, the
Mm-hmm.
universe doesn't care. Humans have to care. It's not what you do, it's why. And
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I have heard them say is, if you feel you are to do it kindly. If you feel that
Mm-hmm.
the marriage there and spirit supports that you can never turn into a fabulous marriage, um, then get out of it kindly.
Mm-hmm.
And you are in charge of how you get out of a relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
they just say to prevent getting more karma or some more challenges,
Right.
unnecessary challenges, to get out of it kindly. But again, I have heard them say humans are lazy, meaning um, the most fabulous marriage, I suspect, is learning how to negotiate. It is mastering um, relationship skills, mastering your own personal dynamic skills. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have had people get out of marriages that Spirit has said absolutely for the wrong reason. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
one, I was in Park City doing a session and someone came in and just popped in and plopped down in the chair and said, I'm on my fifth marriage. And actually, Spirit laughed, I laughed, and they said, well, what did you learn from this? And they said, the person said, the gentleman said, that no one's going to make me happy but me. So what I realized, and many humans do,
Mm-hmm.
is they find a partner that the partner is supposed to make them happy. That doesn't happen because the self makes the self happy, and they don't know how, so they dump them, and then they probably not kindly, and then they find a new person, and then they assign the new person the assignment of making them happy, and that's not going to happen because the
Mm-hmm.
self makes the self happy, and then they dump that one and they find another one.
Mm-hmm.
So they, I know they think a happy union is two separate individual happy people. Like I make me happy,
Mm-hmm.
my husband makes him happy, and we happen to do it in the same house. I never expect my husband to make me happy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not
Yeah.
going to. And I'm sure I don't make him happy. But what he
Mm-hmm.
has said is he's happy because I let him be him. So
Uh-huh.
I let him be him. He lets me be me, and we do it in the same house.
Right.
Because if I had a partner that got in the way of me being me negotiating how to be happy in this marriage, how I could be happy in this marriage, I would be out of it. And
Right.
so
Right.
so they think if there's no skills and no one wants to learn skills, and there's profound disrespect, verbal or physical abuse,
Mm-hmm.
they think that um, that is a reason to move on. Plus, I
Mm-hmm.
did have a woman come to me one time and she said, my husband beats me, but he says he loves me. And Spirit said, well, do you want to know what we think? And she said, yes. And they said, he beats you and he loves you. Dysfunctional people love too. They
Right.
express it horribly, but they love just as passionately, if not more, than
Right.
functional people. And
Right.
so she said, so Spirit said, do you want to know what we suggest? And she said, yes. And they said, bless and release it, because you do not have to live in that dynamics. You do have to love yourself more than other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so in her case, Spirit supported that they dissolve the union. And
Mm-hmm.
yet I have had others come that like that gentleman that assigned his happiness to somebody else, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes someone comes and they have no skills or no desire to put forth the effort of negotiating a fabulous relationship. They think it should be effortless.
Right.
And I've heard from Spirit, here's what I've heard from Spirit, what they think of effortless. Well, I try to make my life effortless, and often with their assistance, I can do that. But they think that every day humans are to put forth the effort to be uncompromisingly authentic and put forth the effort to be nurturing and supportive of others, not always hinged on my agenda.
Mm-hmm.
If my husband does things I wouldn't do, and I do things he wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so you do have to make yourself happy, but you need the skills to the gift that you give yourself, you allow that same gift to somebody else.
That's nice.
And
Yeah. And
so they think it is a little bit effortful, but
mm-hmm.
the rewards are fabulous.
Right. Well, it does, take, like what you say, each person in that relationship to, put forth some effort to keep the relationship and partnership going. You do want to, be a team
True.
when you make the decision to get into um, a marriage type of relationship. But it is true that sometimes we love people that are just simply not good for us. And it's not that you don't care about them, because you do, but you have to, like you said, have more love and respect for yourself to walk away, especially if the relationship is abusive and disrespectful in any way. So,
Also, I think they think that before you get into it, they've told me that dating is testing. You
mhm,
date and you test, meaning you have conversations. You speak your truth. You test, you watch to see if the other person speaks their truth kindly.
mhm,
Do they walk the walk they talk? Do they are depending on what they say, are our beliefs and our core desires the same? And does he is his, I say his, but it's his happiness hinged on what I do? And
mhm.
then you find out, assesses my happiness hinged on what they do. So yes, they think dating is testing. I remember a woman came to Park City once when I was doing a session, and she said, should I marry this guy? He's good looking, he's rich, he has a timeshare, he this, he that. And Spirit said, absolutely not. And she said, really? And they said, yes, he will greatly disrespect you, and then you'll wish you hadn't. And
Oh,
I know she left the session and went right off and got married. And then probably time after a time, he greatly disrespected her, and she said, damn it, I should have listened to her. so
I
so
know,
yeah,
I
that
know,
happened.
I know. But many times people, you know, you try to share with the message, and have to just they disregard it and just have to learn by the going through the experience, I guess.
True, true.
So
You can lead
yeah,
a horse to water, but you can't care if it drinks.
right,
Absolutely.
right. Exactly, exactly. Well, that is really interesting, about, going, you know, before you get into the relationship when you're dating, it is kind of testing. I was having an interesting conversation the other evening about someone who's just now getting ready to go back in the dating arena after taking some time away after a breakup, and just kind of wanted a little bit of coaching with that. And in today's world, we have all these dating apps and platforms and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways to meet people today than I had when I was younger and when I was in the dating arena. But one of the things that we talked about, and this could possibly be a really good segue into the next topic about lying, is when people are using these platforms, they want to put their best foot forward. They might embellish themselves or exaggerate certain things. And I'm just wondering, is that constituted lying? And do people stay away from that? What does Spirit think about that?
Well, if it's not true, definitely it's lying. Also, in this society, there's a lot of fakery. I forgot what they call it, catfishing, or a variety of things. Or they'll steal someone's pictures and then they'll present themselves as that person and befriend and make them love them per se, and then even ask them for money. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
so a person nowadays has to be a lot more sharp, present,
Vigilant.
uncompromisingly authentic within themselves.
Mhm.
They have to be able to spot dysfunctional behavior, and they're responsible for noticing it others, and they're responsible for presenting it for themselves.
Mhm.
So I doubt that there isn't a couple that gets together that there isn't some put your best foot forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
because some of them have, even abusers use that. Will try to hook them, and then once they love them, they know that there's women that once they love them will tolerate
Yes.
dysfunction.
Right. Right.
Especially a philosophy that there are some religions that don't want you to date a long time. They encourage you to marry almost anybody, and they don't even encourage and support functional behavior.
Right.
They just say once you're married, in God's eyes, we per se we don't believe in divorce. So
You're
um,
stuck in it forever and you're just going to have to make the most of it, even if it
yeah,
is,
mhm.
miserable and disrespectful and abusive. Yeah, I've heard of those things too. And
Right.
what about those arranged marriages that you had no choice on who your partner would be, and then you
And
are, required by the religion to be with that person for the
mhm,
rest of your life? I think
mhm.
that would be quite challenging.
It
So,
would be. And in a situation where your power is taken from you and you have to do it, then you wake up each day and say to Spirit, welcome to my day. Assist this person to be kind to me, supportive of me, assist me to be the best I can be, and bless and assist him to be the best that you can be. Even if you have no control over the external aspects of the relationship, you
mhm,
do have control over how you partner with Spirit and how you handle yourself in that relationship.
right, right. I
Mhm.
think the key phrase that I want to emphasize is the every morning waking up and partnering with spirit, and asking spirit to bless the relationship, bless the person, bless any situations that you may be going through for that day, and or any issues going on with that partner, and things like that, because um, I find that doing that every morning truly can make my day and all of my relationships better. And also partnering with spirit, I ask for discernment, especially if I'm would be stepping into a new relationship, to help me see the true and authentic person that this is, so that I can make a wise choice of going forward or not with the relationship.
Also, they think you're never going to find a perfect partner. Possibly they're two separate genders, or two separate races, or the same genders. The ages are different often, the experiences um, are different, the baggage is different. So, yes, they think that you'll never find a perfect person, but you can find your perfect for you person,
Right.
which hopefully is kind and supportive, and um, nurturing. Like my husband and I are completely opposite. He likes he likes loud music. Sometimes that makes me ill. He likes loud noises and Harleys, and sometimes that bothers me too. And he likes loud drums, and he's sirens and guns and all that. He's the loud person. That's what I call him, the loud person. I say I don't want to be the loud family, so I want to do things quiet and low key. And he's a Leo, so he is very voila. I'm out there, and so I support him being him, and he supports me being me, and occasionally we'll do the same things.
Nice.
But it tells me not to quit my day job for drumming. That's for sure. Don't quit your day job.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes he'll say, "Play this drum so I can hear how it sounds." Loud, I'm sure. And
Right.
I say, so I'll bang on it, and he'll roll his eyes, and he'll say, "Don't quit your day job." So it's so obviously negotiating is embracing the differences.
Right, right. I think communication is key. You know, many couples that I have coached, um, they do not know how to communicate with each other. I find um, many times men that I have coached don't really know how to find the words to express their feelings. And I find many times women I coach won't be patient enough to let them spit it out before they're already, interrupting them and things like that. So I do think negotiation and communication and patience is key um, in maintaining a really positive relationship.
And also, one of the spiritual truths that Spirit always shares is to know the self is to own the self. If you don't know yourself, and you don't know what you like, and if you don't know that you don't want somebody telling you what to do and how to do it, and if you don't know so you have to know yourself, query the self, assess the self, and know the self, and then to query the partner or the date, to
Right.
query that person to see how well do they know themselves. Because I do think sometimes, like you said, they're not lying. They're just trying to put the best foot forward.
Right.
And odds are they don't know themselves.
Right.
Humans don't know themselves that well.
They don't, because they haven't taken the time. One of the things I have found too is that society has basically told us what types of person we should want, through movies and through some of these reality shows. They're kind of like telling us what we should be looking for in a relationship, but or what kind of person we should be attracted to. And I think that is kind of a slippery slope, kind of dangerous. My feeling is that they need to turn those voices off and go within and start figuring out, well, what would make me happy? Who am I? Who would complement my life instead of complicate my life? And what kind of qualities and attributes do they have? That's kind of what my friend was saying last night. So I want to give credit to him for that saying.
Nice.
But I think that was a really wise thing that he brought up in our conversation last night.
That is good. I often even heard Spirit say a marriage is like two unions, like unions for companies, like at work, there's a union. They say they think marriage is like two unions, that once a month they should get together with a list if they see challenges, to write stuff down and say, one would say, "This is what I need to be in." And the other one would say, "Well, this is what I need to be in." And then they would say, "Well, then how do we negotiate that?"
Exactly. Exactly.
So they think negotiating a relationship isn't romantic, but
right.
Romance can come afterwards.
Right. One of the things I like to share with people is that especially when you're trying to put your best foot forward, and and you aren't quite sure how it is to just basically, okay, well, let's just get it out there. Let's speak our truth. And if it doesn't come out quite right, if it comes out kind of messy, please just give me the patience to try to get it out, and then we can clean it up later. But at least I'm
Perfect.
trying to get it out. And that's a start. And that's a good way to start having good, more in-depth conversations instead of some of the surfacey, shallowy first date kinds of questions. Because I think we
Yes.
deserve to go a little deeper on these queries.
Well, to know the self is to know your baggage,
True.
So I per se wouldn't go into any relationship
Mm-hmm.
that I knew that somebody's happiness was hinged on what I do. Thank God
Right, right.
my husband doesn't try to boss me. He doesn't try. I mean, he might make a suggestion and he'll say, well, do what you want because you will anyway. But so, because sometimes I'll say, what do you think? And he doesn't really like to throw in his opinion because he thinks I should just do what I want. So,
Well,
and I do.
but the difference I think with you and your relationship with your husband is that you both allow each other to do what you want to do, have your hobbies and do those kinds of things, but you're not doing anything at the expense of each other. And
True.
some people, will go out of their way to do something that they know the other person does not like. And
True. As you embrace the differences, like I would not invite my husband into the kitchen to help me cook. No, no.
Right.
And
Exactly.
because of he would probably say, I do it this way or I did it that way. And I'm like, but not do it. So though he is
Right.
adorable and he is a master of many things,
Mm-hmm.
you embrace the aspects of the relationship that um, you have to navigate.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, but he's a good dishwasher. so 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 when we're done he can sneak in there and clean it up, but
Well, that's nice.
yeah,
Right.
because he does that. Everybody has their strengths, everybody
Mm-hmm.
has their weaknesses.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. That
mhm.
is good. That is good. So, Janice, what else does Spirit want to talk to us about today?
so um so the other topic that they mentioned this week that somebody asked was lying. They
Okay, that's right.
wanted to know what Spirit thought about lying. And Spirit said, well, they kind of laughed a little bit. They said, all humans lie. And they said, again, it's not what you do, it's why you do it. And they told the story in the past of, say, a woman came knocking on your door, crying and saying, help me. My husband's trying to hurt me. And so you open up the door and you let her in and you say, get under the bed. and then and then later he says, run around the neighborhood trying to find her, knocks on your door and says, have you seen my wife? What would you say?
Right.
No. You're
Yes.
not going to say, oh yeah, yeah, she's hiding under the bed. You say no,
Yeah.
because there are times that, yet it's a lie.
Yeah.
And would I prefer maybe that situation never ever happened? Yes, yes. But on this crazy earth, you have to expect the unexpected, and crazy
Mhm.
happens. And
Right.
if that happened, and someone was knocking on my door and said, have you seen this person? I would say no. So that in itself is one excuse,
Mm-hmm.
a one time that Spirit is not going to punish you, give you bad karma, whatever, for lying. Because
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure doctors have those situations, and um, I'm sure there's probably a time a husband has a situation that it is best. Maybe if she says, maybe did these pants make me look fat? Um,
Right.
so, so I'm sure every person has a time in their life when
Mhm.
um, they think it really is the best, not just to cover their butt, not just to take advantage of somebody,
Mhm.
not I'm sure people at work, there's a time that because you have to negotiate your relationships at work, and you
Mhm.
negotiate relationship with friends, and you negotiate
Mhm.
relationships with family. And I bet there's not a time in any place, and certainly with children. Um, so it's not what you do, it's why you do it. But they tell
Mhm.
me all humans lie. And so that must be what humans will call white lies, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's what they call it, is some white lies. And it is about taking every situation into account when that happens, I mean, because I'm sure they
Mhm.
disagree with, outright deception,
Sure. Like if somebody said,
and
are you,
manipulation and that.
yeah. If someone said, are you cheating? And they say no. I mean, and the person is, I mean, humans know within themselves really
Right.
when it's right and when it's wrong.
They do. I
Absolutely.
mean, if
Mhm.
they're
Mhm.
aware enough in themselves,
Mhm.
they do have that barometer between what is right, what is wrong, what would be beneficial and what would be destructive. And
True.
they would have to um, gauge that within themselves,
Right, because
so
in a court system, when you go to court, one side's telling the truth, probably one side's lying, and they have
mhm,
to throw it all out there and see who buys the best story, I guess.
right.
And so, and politicians, I mean, if they did everything that they said they were going to do to get elected, what a wonderful world we would probably have.
Oh, exactly, exactly. And
So,
you
so the other side is aware humans lie. They would prefer, like you said, they follow the barometer of um, when, if you feel it's right, really right for
mhm,
someone's highest good, not just for your own highest good, not
mhm,
just for deception, not
mhm.
just to win a court case, not just to have someone vote for you. When you really do it for someone's highest good, I can tell you there is no karmic punishment, and also
Mhm.
it says all humans lie.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the key is, we all do that, but our goal is, I think, is to begin to not lie to ourselves.
Definitely.
As we go within and query the self and excavate and discover who we
Mhm.
really are, that is the time when we need to be absolutely 100% honest with ourselves, is when we are doing our own work.
And
Because
I
I
think
think,
after you've done that,
mhm,
rarely would you really lie when you're that comfortable. Like if somebody asked me if I wanted to do something and I went within and I said, I'm thinking, no, I don't want to. And I say, the more authentic you are, the more you can say, no, I don't want to.
right,
Because there are many humans who would say yes, even if they didn't want to, which is lying to the self.
exactly, exactly. And I think it's that lying to the self that ends up getting us in the most trouble. So, you know,
Yep, I'm sure it does.
so
Yeah.
yeah, especially, when we want to be true and authentic to ourselves, and actually, true and authentic to the relationships that we are in, based upon the conversation we were having previously.
Mhm.
So what
Oh, yeah.
tools?
Expecting someone to make you happy
Mhm,
when you should just do that yourself
right.
is very deceptive to the self.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So I personally, one of my favorite things I like to query the self is like, out of love and respect for myself, what is the best thing for me to do
Mhm.
in this situation? Because if
Mhm.
it turns out that it ends up not being
Mhm.
loving and respectful to myself,
Mhm.
then I probably shouldn't do that or say that or whatever it may be.
True.
And
And
so that's kind of my rule of thumb.
some people might say, what is for my highest good? You know,
Yeah,
some might say what is for the highest good of a relationship. Because again, a relationship is about negotiating. And here's something I'm going to clearly say the other side thinks. Humans will say to another human, you should compromise. I have heard spirit say, never compromise, always negotiate, never compromise. To compromise is one is happy and one's not. And spirit
right,
thinks negotiating is two unions saying, what this is what I need to be in, this is what I need to be in. And so then you negotiate. So both sides are happy. They
right,
do not like compromising, they love negotiating.
right. Well, I think with that is a really good place to wrap up our conversation today, which is it is best to negotiate so both parties in the relationship can be happy, and that it is up to the self to make the self happy by being honest to the self. Anything that you want to add to that, Janice, before we get to go?
No, I think that's perfect. And I'm going to say, humans would say that's hard, and spirit would say, as they always say, we never said it would be easy. We said
Right,
it's possible.
exactly.
We said it's
Exactly.
possible.
So, friends, we are so glad that you were able to join us today. And if there are any questions that you'd like to ask us or about what we've talked today or about anything else that's on your mind, feel free to email us your question at hello@Soululaire. And we thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope you have a fabulous, wonderful day.
Thank you for inviting me to be your co host.
It is my pleasure. I love doing these with you, and I look forward to doing many more yet to come. So thanks,
Awesome.
Janice.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.